Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. This is my update of my garden. Currently, I've not been taking care of them simply because it's been raining quite bad for these past few days. So I didn't want to overwater the plants and I just left it as it is. And I just want to show to you my updates. This is a variegated bird nest fern, followed by another type which I actually have it here. It's a bit hidden. I think you can see it. Yeah, this one. Also I put in Agloanema here, and this particular type I managed to get 3 different types. Not doing very well, but it's okay. I put a palm here. That's the best that I can get in this place. The lights are not so good. And a little bit of all these foliage plants. Another type of bird nest. Well, this is a very common one, but there seems to be looking more on fringes here. I also put another type of ferns. This looks like maidenhair fern, but in a longer version. Okay. My stack fern started to have one new. This is a male leaf type. It's a bit heavy now compared to before. The growth has grown. The last time I spoke about this particular type, this Epyiphytes, it's doing stable. And so is the Caladium. It's a new leaf, but the coloration is not so strong because of the sunlight. If it's a bright sunlight, the reds and the white will be more bigger and more prominent, but because it's in the shade, so the green is more visible here. So is the other Caladiums, just like doing well. This is a big one. It's constantly being strong, showing us a strong strength of its big size. Pothos, I think it's enjoying. I also place some Monstera adocini. There's another one. Okay. Not to the best, but it's okay because I'm not looking for perfection. I've also started to grow moss. It's been a raining season here, but this particular one is an aquatic, so they can tolerate water. This is a mop wick system. It's not 100% successful, but plants, especially the Begonia and Epycias, seems to be able to handle here well. This is where sun is slowly coming up. Kept my Airplants here. You can see it has flowered, and it is looking for new fronds to show up. The problem with this one here is that it cannot have too much water at the same time, cannot be too dry, so it's a balance of both evils here. But I have killed one recently. The whole thing just collapse and fall apart. This is considered too wet for a morning It should be dried. I've not watered it quite a while for this past few days. Okay, so this is the water plants. Plants that I grow near the water feature here, a fish pond. You see the sun is slowly showing up. Quite bright actually. Earlier it was quite dark, so I don't think so the camera would be able to handle it. I think it's more visible now. You see it? Okay, so this is my vertical wall. Oh, it's so hot and bright now. I placed all the bromeliads here. Actually I lost one particular type. I think it was too hot and too wet at the same time, and the whole thing collapsed. So I had to be careful with this. They are not 100% hardy. Chrysanthemums, known as Earthstar. I just introduced a few here. This is now sunny. The thing is that past 6 months the sun was the other end. Now starting from January onwards, the sun has started to shine on this side of the garden. These are hardy ones, so I would recommend if you're planning to have a vertical garden, this would be these are the best plants that you can actually put, especially Agloanemas. They are such a featured colored plants. Truly amazing to have them. Also this watermelon begonia is also, it's actually not a true begonia, it's actually a Begonia. I only have this one particular version. I've also introduced atrium here. I've noticed that it's a comeback now, or different variety and versions where they have since to slowly coming back into the market currently. So I'm trying out. It is quite good, almost a month plus, and the flowers appear to be very stable. These are the other common Agloanemas, and I also put Zebra Trendesecte here. Zebra Trendesecte, or also known as a wandering Jew. This is a very common type. So the idea here is that when there's so much empty space, I just poke them and just fasten them here. A zigzag plant. Also Oxalis. It is more on a trial basis here. I'm not sure how long they're going to last and handle here. I also found that Indian Borage, the variegated one, looks cool in this coloration when it comes to colored vertical garden concept. Prior to this few years, about a year, more than a few years, I've been keeping orchids here, but they are not doing very well and they're slowly phasing out. So I didn't want to throw all of them, just keeping the one that actually survived. I had a very strong challenge here because the rodent seems to be coming over here and biting off the crowns and eating the leaves, and so it's like these plants were going through heavy stress. But this is what's left, and none of them has flowered since. So I have to watch and see how it goes. This is the particular type of orchid, locally known as pandan orchid, but Spathagolysis, if I'm not wrong, that's what they call it. It has flowered. You can see the flower spike is a pink version, but it's not the best that it is. But it loves the sun, so that's how it appears to be. Right. I find that the green colored ones are much more hardy and they love sun, and so I placed all of them here. The last time I placed all of my bromeliads this side, what happened here is that I was putting them upright. And slowly they are looking for sun, and so the cup appeared to be tilted, and it was not a good sight when everything was looking like a haywire garden. But I'm happy for this arrangement so far, because my focus is more for having colors and variety of foliage appearances, and this is the best that appears to be. Over here I've been having maiden hair fern. This is the only place that it does do well here in my garden, more on a wet ground kind of thing. Also sunset bells give the contrast of a dark colorization, and a few versions of what do you call this particular fern, fancy link, fancy fancy fern, ruffle fern. So these are quite sensitive actually. If they don't do well, if you were to change them in a different location and it's too hot, they tend to die. The only hope that you can actually have is that you have to look for new fronds that would have been seasoned for that location. This is a bigger version of the maiden hair fern and fishtail fern. It is a bit wild actually. They seems to overgrow and become huge. Other than that, also another one, fluffy ruffle fern. Yeah, this is the one, similar to this, but I have two varieties here. Also this is Selaginella, but I like the blue coloration that appears here. It's sort of like a very wet kind of thing, so not too wet, not too dry, but that's the best medium for it. So I actually use sand for this. Prior to this place, I was actually using a lot of this, what do you call this, Epiphytes, which actually died back. So these are remaining ones, and most of it is gone actually. Of also burning bush cane begonia is also introduced here recently. I just propagated them inside here, so I just want to see how they handle. All this is a very hardy one. It's called purple queen, but because there's not enough light, so they appear to be leggy. But if not, it'll be very bushy and colorful. You can see the sun is slowly showing up here. Okay, these are some of the begonias that I actually exchanged from my friends, and so I'm just hoping that they will give out some pups. It's a bit bland here because it's all the colors is actually more green and white and spots, so not really showy. This is another one. This one I recently purchased from Sungai Buloh. Quite stable here now. I got this from online. There's few others actually. Yeah, this one and this one. Yeah, can you see it? Yeah. Okay. Just want to show you the overall how is it. This bougainvillea is actually coming from the other end, but it is like giving the best shade here. I like the flowers, but that's another nuisance that I have to face, is that the fallen flowers seems to litter this whole place up. This is the biggest Dumbcane here that I have grown, and actually it's very stable. Also this particular type, I can't recall the name right now. Walking stick iris. It has a yellow flower actually, but for now the flowering season has completed. Okay. Begonia. Bromeliads, Philodendron. So it's actually very simple. I wouldn't call it expecting expensive plants. It's just that the basic ones that actually grows here. And the sun is so bright. So this is the portion of my garden that grows in this side of my vertical garden. I didn't want to have this particular root ball to be very empty, so I placed this particular type of Dischidia, and they're doing well. Actually, watering is inconsistent, but because of the pond underneath it, so they do get very strong humidity over here. So it's quite stable even on a hot sunny day. Okay, over here I have resetted my Spanish moss, and they are actually doing very stable. And you can see by this side is where it gets its sun. I have not watered it about a week actually, because it's raining cats and dogs this past few days, or past few weeks actually. This is another type of air plant. This particular one needs soil. Needs the soil is medium. Okay, so this one is my collection of all my begonias. I've already transferred all of them here because they are not doing well in any other area. So these are the ones that I actually have currently. It's sad actually compared to what I actually had. I think I lost almost half my collection during the earlier infestation of rodents that has been coming and sitting on them and biting off the leaf, and these particular plants are so sensitive. They just don't like to be disturbed. So if you're growing begonias, try to find somewhere which is permanent and don't move them around or disturb them, because they are super sensitive plants. But I just love them. It's one of the things that I had challenges in my garden, is that begonias is the only one that is stable and able to grow well in my garden. This is actually growing on the soil. They're doing very well now. A few other types of poly plants. You can see it. Okay, so is the Dumbcane here. Also growing Syngoniums and common varieties of plants. Ariods actually. Another few types of cane begonias and some other varieties of begonias. It's actually work in progress, because it's like try out and see what works. Phytonias, they seem to do well and then suddenly they just disappear. So I have to constantly cut them, repropagate them time to time. I'm still thinking what can I do in this condition. Also anthuriums here, and different type of cane begonia, and Episcias. Now you can see this is a candy stripe begonia. Okay, I only have this one alocasia here. I think this is Riverside, if I'm not wrong. This is I recently purchased this. It's quite stable now. compared to before. Together with my maculata, this is my maculata. Earlier it was almost dying, but now it is picking up slowly. These are two brand new leaves, but they can just die easily, so it's a bit fussy plant. It's a different variety. I hope it's not the same. But they can change colorization when they are actually in shade in a different environment, so it's quite difficult actually to identify them because they seems to morph time to time. Okay, just want to show you the rest of it. I will do the other portion of my garden later on because I think the sun is too bright and the focus is not so good. This is my cascading plants. They are stable actually for now. This is Episcias. I think the names are constantly changing, so I'm not very sure what are they calling currently now. But the common names are called, I'll just call them tassel fern. I lost one variety. I think it's because somehow I think it's too wet and it didn't stabilize. Some of it is just too sensitive, so I'm just focusing on the ones that is actually stable and hardy. I also use Kokedama balls, and I actually place some of the ferns here, and all this what do you call this, epyphytes. So I'm just focused on this unique leaf foliage structure plants. This is actually an orchid. I'm just growing it for foliage, and some of the ferns, a rabbit foot fern. These are orchids actually, but they have not flowered. I think the condition is just not right. Fishtail cactus. And there's another orchid growing on the Kokedama ball. Been keeping them for years or so. I'm just waiting to see what flower it actually shows. Variegated Dischidia together with Ripsalis. So it is just that it seems to grow together and complement each other. There's another type of cactus, Stapela if I'm not wrong. Hoya, Variegated ocean. Kerry if I'm not wrong. Same thing. This Ripsalis. Okay. I'll try to come this side in the garden. I can show you how it appears to be. I also put my Airplants here. I think some of them just need bright shade but not hot direct sunlight. This one is doing well. Also this orchid, which a new shoot. This is an awesome orchid actually. So you can see my Spanish moss over here, and my fern, my Airplants. Okay, this is the orchid, the early one. So I don't normally prune off all these ferns, but sometimes I do, and they overwhelm all things. So it's important to keep them small, because once they grow too big, it seems to hoard off all the sunlight, and some of the most important plants seems to die away because of lack of sunlight. So it's very important. This is another Stapela. I tried to grow this on a soil medium, but it never does well. So I find that the less soil they are, the better they do. So this is actually in a Kokedama ball, together with Stripsalis. This is another type of Dischidia. So it's another one. So I just collect where I can get my hands on what I can get. Yeah, this is the overall of my garden. So you can see it's a little bit of a mess, but I like the way it is. So I just want to portray the natural way of things, because like I don't want to have a very manicured garden. This is a natural rainforest kind of setting. It's more of an epiphyte here. So it's more of a green wall garden per se. This particular one is doing so beautifully. Just love the way the colorization of the foliage, more of a heart shape. And this particular one, Caladiums and Marantanas seems to not do so well, but they don't die either. So these are the ones that I kept for years. They just survive and live. Another one is I used to call this as a butterfly plant. It's a small cutting actually, but now it has grown to a very well formation. I may propagate that later when the weather is good. It's just too wet. I don't think so anything can grow. This is the same begonia, burning bush, has flowered actually. Yeah. And over this side is a green Selaginella. I just like that because it gives that kind of a cool aquatic look seamlessly. This is where I kept my Dumbcane and other set of Californias. Now you can see different type of colorizations. There's another one. Finding out their names is quite a challenge. I almost gave up. Like they look familiar, but they are different, and the variety and variegation is like take forever to identify. So I just work on it. Like this is, it appears to be like a Caladium, but it's actually a taro. And yeah, there's another one here. There's a different one. Another one. This one is the same as this one. It is receiving a very strong sunlight, and the size of the pot is quite big and it's close to the water, and so it really grew well so far in this condition. I have a very challenging moment with my Hoya because they never seems to bloom, so I just have to wait and see how they behave. But they do have some variegation on the leaf, the specks, and so I have to see. But this is Carnosa actually. It did bloom years ago, before I put them in this place. Orchids. These are the stables one. Caladiums. It does bloom time to time, usually in the rain season. And so is this dancing lady Oncidium. These firecracker flowers. It come from the other side. Yeah. Also Dumbcane, I just kept them because from far it looks, the variegation actually gives a very good contrast in my small space garden. Marantana. Orchids. I'm still waiting for them to bloom. I really like give up. It's like if you die, I'm not going to replace you back again, and just hope that you flower and that I'm able to see it. Some orchids do flower, did get to flower, but they're so out of reach, and not even camera friendly. This is the best I can get. The common ones actually. This is actually given to me by a friend. Okay, I think that's all for now. I'll wrap up my garden. Thank you so much for bearing with me in my garden experience. I hope you enjoyed and love the collection that I have now in this April 2020. Happy gardening. Do feel free to subscribe and hit like on my garden. I would really love to hear from you if you have any comments. Please do feel free to comment and write or any questions that you have concerning these gardens. Thank you.